We are also continuing to follow that landmark trial about social media addiction in Los Angeles.
The head of Instagram took the stand today, and the first time tech giants have faced a jury over allegations their platforms are addictive for young people. Meta, the parent company of Instagram, and YouTube are the defendants in this case. The companies dispute the claims that their products deliberately harm children, citing the safeguards they have added over the years and arguing that they are not liable for content posted on their sites by third parties. We should note TikTok and Snap were originally named in the lawsuit but settled before the trial for undisclosed sums.
Joining us now, NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung and NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos with us as well. Brian, I'll start with you. What are the lawyers today probing Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, about? Like, what are they asking?
Yeah, and again, this trial is about teen mental health and whether or not the addictive nature of these apps was to blame for that. So basically, Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, taking the stand was an opportunity for the plaintiff's lawyers to try to figure out how much did Facebook, how much did Instagram know about the risks of young teens using their platforms and how the addictive nature of these apps could affect their mental health. So there was a line of questioning earlier on in the day, by the way, this is still happening right now, that was asking about plastic surgery filters, where it seemed like you could add something over your face that kind of cleans up wrinkles, but in some instances also simulate plastic surgery itself. And there were some internal deliberations over whether or not that was something that they needed to ban. The lawyers asking them, why didn't you ban not just that, but other types of filters that would increase body harm or perception of body image? I think that's a big concern in terms of whether or not the defense and Meta are going to be able to push back on that. We did get a statement from Instagram and Meta today saying, quote, the question for the jury in Los Angeles is whether Instagram was a substantial factor in the plaintiff's mental health struggles. And the statement goes on to say that the evidence, at least as far as they see, will show that this individual in this case had significant difficult challenges before she ever used social media. I think another thing we're going to be watching for is Mark Zuckerberg, who's expected to testify next week.
And to that end, Danny, what is the plaintiff's strategy here in having these testimonies come forward, both of the head of Instagram and Mark Zuckerberg to come?
You definitely want, as a plaintiff, you definitely want the boss of the bosses to come in and testify. There are a lot of opportunities there. You could trip him up on knowledge of things that were not going well, things that are good for the plaintiff's case, awareness that these products and services had some risk. Or the other side of that sword is not so bad either. What if he didn't know? Oh, you're the boss and you have no idea what's going on under your command. You were asleep at the wheel. So there are a lot of different opportunities and strategies for a plaintiff's attorney in calling the bosses to the stand.
And Danny, for its part, YouTube is arguing in this trial that really it's not even social media. It's just an entertainment platform. What do you make of that?
Isn't it fascinating? When this case came out, I thought, I wonder if YouTube adding them as a defendant was maybe a bad strategy, because there is the argument, wait, they're not exactly like a social media company. But when you think about it, they have content creators. The content creators post their information, their videos. They have algorithms. You can interact with these people. Is YouTube a social media company? I don't know anymore. Maybe it's just in the eye of the beholder, and the beholder ultimately is this jury.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.